about going into that fight. And I guess the question now is, with the way in which Ruiz has been out here talking smack and that, has that made you? Has it brought back the beast? Is the beast now ready?
I'm not gonna say that that's the reason why.
No.
When I'm in that ring, we're in the lion's den. Do you know what I mean? And I'm never looking for excuses. But it's interesting that you say that because, you know, I didn't meet Ruiz until the press conference or the week of the fight because Miller pulled out and he was the best replacement. So yeah, there wasn't that real fire. But honestly, to say this is the smack talk is only gonna make him. He's only digging his own grave because it's a different kind of thing now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I took my L and I handled it like a man, but I'm going to show people the art of bounce back.
Straight up and down.
So let's talk about May the 8th, Saunders, Canelo quickly approaching. Huge fight, absolutely huge fight. But I do want to ask you specifically really about Billy Joe's father, Tom Saunders' recent interview he gave on Boxing Social, where it didn't sound great, to be honest, like from a relationship point of view between boxer and fighter and promoter, sorry. And yeah, I wanted you to kind of address some of the things he was saying, because he's obviously got some concerns there.
I got a good relationship with Billy Joe. I think I've met his dad twice. First time was when Billy signed with us, and the second time was in Vegas last week.
What's up, boxing fan? This is the protect part of the video. Based on the interview with Eddie Hearn and the IFL dudes. So the third part is gonna be Eddie Hearn against Billy Joe Saunders, and Canelo. And Eddie Hearn had this to say based on the interview with Billy Joe Saunders' father in relating to the upcoming fight between his son and Canelo. And Billy father kind of saying like it's a breach of contract based on the judges and based on the way Eddie Hearn kind of dancing more towards Canelo and not towards his son. Let me say this. As a father, that's what you're supposed to do, right? You know, look out for your son, right? I mean, that's a normal thing. I think that's what every father would do, right? And always look out for the interests of your own son. That's a normal thing. I ain't hating on him on that. But in business part, I think he's getting a lot of message wrong, right? First, I think he didn't read the contract. We know a lot of promoters, right? They kind of, having issue with not, keeping towards on the contract and then, but Eddie Hearn is not known for that. Eddie Hearn, I think he's one of those promoters like who keep straight to what he said, believe, keep to his words, and we don't get to see Eddie Hearn, having illegal issue or whatever, legal issue, whatever it is, with any of the fighters or whatever, like other promoters does. There's a couple of promoters out there you see you hear them or see them in having some whatever, not paying the fighters, or we never heard anything about Eddie Hearn. And I think that's something where a lot of fighters respected by promoters like Eddie Hearn. I think he's one of those clean promoters out there that you can rely on, right? And I think that's why a lot of those guys want to be signed, or want to be in an Eddie Hearn team, right? So Eddie Hearn is not known for that dirty game shit. He don't play that. He don't It's not his thing. I think he learned the business from a true businessman, his father. And I think it's a true man. He stayed true to what he preach and practice at the same time, right? And he made it clear, based on the judges, it was written on the contract. No Mexican judges and no British judges, right? And all the judges would be neutral. It was on the contract. And I guess Billy Joe father didn't read that. And secondly, in terms of being a bias, like, it's kind of dancing in the tone of Canelo. Man, that's a superstar, man. You can compare your son with Canelo. That's one of those face of boxing. I mean, it's always an honor to promote Canelo. Eddie Hearn is the best promoter out there. He promote the two biggest name in boxing to date, Anthony Joshua and Canelo. I mean, that's a promoter dream, man, to have those two guys, the face of boxing. Those guys that drunk, that people won't see. Those guys you make billions and millions on. Of course, he just go dance, you know, I mean, that's a normal thing, yo. Not personal. And I don't think he's doing anything wrong as well because he delivered Billy Joe Saunders what he promised him. We know before Billy Joe was with Frank Warren, he tried so many times to get this big fight. And what fight is bigger than that out there for him as Canelo? And that's the reason why he switched. Like, you know what? I get it. I ain't gonna get that Canelo fight because Frank Warren, DAZN, two different things, right? Canelo is with DAZN, Eddie Hearn with DAZN, and Frank Warren is not a DAZN person, right? So if I want to get that big fight, which is Canelo, I need to switch. That's just the main reason he switched from BT to DAZN. It wasn't like he made it clear. That's the reason, right? Hoping Eddie Hearn would give me that fight. So Eddie Hearn did. The first time in 2020, before the pandemic. It was supposed to be last year, May last year, and the pandemic came up. Everything got put on hold, and he did it again this year. So what else? What else Billy Joe won, man? He delivered that fight twice. What happened last year, it wasn't Eddie Hearn's fault, right? Eddie Hearn didn't bring up the pandemic shit, right? But he tried again this year, and now it's happening. That's what you wanted, and that's what you're getting. Of course, he's just gonna be more on. It's the same thing. Put it this way: it's like Eddie Hearn promote AJ, and we know AJ and Dillian White, no good, right? You know what I mean? And we see that time and time again. It's time we come down to AJ, Dillian White, and Dillian White knows that, and AJ knows that, and Eddie Hearn made it clear: AJ's my friend. It's just the way it is. Even though I promote these two guys, of course, my heart goes to AJ because he's a friend. He's not just my fighter. He's more than that. He's a friend. I knew him. We started the whole thing from day one. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? You just got to deal with it, man. Roll with it, deal with it, and accept the way it is. You know what I mean? And I think Dillian White had a problem with that from the get-go. But now he just had to accept the way it is. He can't change it. But as long as he's getting something done, As long Eddie Hearn is doing his thing, he's providing me the fight and getting that paycheck good, I'm cool with him. And today, Dillian White is cool with Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn is just doing what he's supposed to do. And then Dillian Hearn is happy. Okay, AJ is the golden boy. AJ is is his friend. That's just the way it is, bro. Deal with it, accept it, and move on. And I don't think Eddie Hearn said anything bad about you know about about Billy Joe because that's not Eddie Hearn, man. I mean, I know a couple of times like a lot of people try to heat on um, you know, Billy Joe, best things he did, his own private life, which Eddie Hearn don't have to say y'all. But Eddie Hearn was still backing him up, which he don't have to do it anyway. Because it's like you screw ups in your own private life, why have to back you up? You're a grown man. It's your shit. Handle that shit your own way. But still, he back him up. He didn't talk him down like whatever. He still back him up. So I don't get it. The thing is, as I said, I understand what Eddie Hearn, what Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders' father is saying, but I don't think he read the contract, and you know what I mean. So he's not doing anything that was not in the contract, right? He's not going anything above or below the contract. Everything Eddie Hearn is doing is all written on the contract, and I think probably Billy Joe father is not well informed about everything was on the contract, and Eddie Hearn gave your son the biggest fight he won and the biggest payday. So what else you want? So stop talking. If your son is confident enough to beat him, he beat Canelo. He's the big star. Now it's the face of boxing. You know what I mean? That's how it goes. So also said I do understand, but I think um Eddie Hearn is doing what he's supposed to do as a promoter, and I don't think he's breaching any contract or doing anything below or above the contract. And I think he deserves that respect as one of the best out there in the business. Somebody you can trust, somebody you can know. Yeah, he won't pay me more, little, pay me less than I'm worth, or breach any contract, or take anything in on out of the contract. You know what I mean? So he is true to the game, and I think that's why we don't see him in any illegal shit or whatever, or with legal whatever. You know what I mean? He's one of those true promoter out there you can really believe and rely on. And I think he's just doing a great job. And yeah, let me know what you guys think.